as a lifelong lover of the game of basketball and the NBA, by an idea that Adam Silver just kind of threw out there. He's on the Dan Patrick Show, and Dan asks him, what kind of changes could we see? Could you envision in the future of the NBA? And this is what the commissioner said.
As we get more involved in global basketball, the NBA is the only league that plays 48 minutes. And I am a fan of 4 10-minute quarters. I'm not sure that many others are. I mean, putting aside what it means for records and things like that, I think that a 2-hour format for a game is more consistent with sort of modern television habits.
What? Did the commissioner of the NBA, who I consider to be one of the smartest people I've ever met, did he just seriously float the idea, Wendy? That's, I guess, what I'm asking you. Seriously float the idea of changing the game, the time of a game in the league from what it has always been, literally from the inception of the NBA 70-something years ago, from 48 minutes to 40.
Okay, so let me just say two very clear things here. Number one, he was being asked by Dan Patrick whether this was for a hypothetical, like what change could you see? This is not something that they are currently considering. In fact, they just had a competition committee meeting and a general manager meeting this week, and Adam didn't bring it up either, okay? But the second thing to point out, now we know this is how he feels, but there might be a reason why he's floating this, even if it's something that's years down the line, and that's because the NBA is getting more into the interest in global basketball. They are considering creating a European league, and if sometime in the future the NBA would like to compete against European teams on a level playing field, like you see in soccer where teams across different continents play each other, you would need to have a standardized game. So I don't think it's something happened now. I do think it's a very interesting discussion. I don't think he was being flippant because I do think he's got long-term plans, but I don't think you're going to see it happen next year or anything like that.
I understood. But when we all watch it in the Olympics is the one time that probably most American basketball fans see it. But you cover as much international basketball as literally anyone I know. The 4 10-minute quarters is the format basically everywhere else that basketball is played, except for America, where in the NBA we play 48 minutes, and in college we play 2 20-minute halves on the men's side anyway. So that's an interesting. It's an interesting thought that's the direction that he would consider. This did come up. Who was asked about this? Oh, Michael Malone and Steve Kerr. They both weighed in. Here's what they said.
I hope we don't become Barnum and Bailey, where we're just doing whatever you have to do to keep viewership, because there's a history and a greatness to this game, and I hope and a purity to this game that I hope we can find a way to stay true to.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, I'm not saying it's for sure the right thing to do, but we got to think of everything we can do, because the one thing we know, the league is not going to cut games out of the schedule. I wish they would, but they're not going to. I don't think any of the constituents are going to agree to that just because of the revenue loss. But if we're not going to do that, then shortening the games, lengthening the calendar season so you get more rest for the players, I'm all for that.
And very quickly, Wendy, that's Steve Kerr, who of course coached the Olympic team, so he is very familiar with the format. Final word, Winman.
Yeah, I think the thing is, the way I took it, and I don't want to speak for Adam Silver, but the way I took it is he would consider this for viewership purposes, not for necessarily for player health purposes, although that would be an ancillary benefit. So what Michael Malone said, I think, was accurate when it was like, don't want to shorten it just for ratings.
Look, that thing jumped off the page at me. I immediately said, call Wendy, and as always, the Wingman is there when we need him. Wendy, have a great weekend. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just wanted to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.